Well, hello, welcome. I'm Leah Davis, founder of Leah Davis Coaching. I am happy that you're here with me today for my topic Buy to Cope or Heal for Real. First, I want to go ahead and start off by having you become aware that I have now launched a weekly convening for all women of color. I created Prosperity Exchange. I just wanted to announce this and invite you. First session will be on Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific. What it is going to be a weekly conversation and space for all women of color, all of us together Black, Brown, Latina, Indigenous, Asian, you name it. And this is for us to gather in community. And what we'll be doing is I'll be guiding conversations around learning how to trust our financial decisions, how to elevate our relationship with money, and how to stay in tune with our emotions as we are working through different financial situations in our life, whether it's on the personal side, on the business side. It's all tied together. And I'm doing this because the time is now. What better time than now? So I'll be putting this in the comment section. And I can also put it later on in the chat link. I didn't get it saved yet to put there. So you'll be able to join. And once again, it's every week and it'll be at no cost to you. So Prosperity Exchange is something that I'm excited about. I'm just ready for it. And I'm hoping that many of you are too. And I have a feeling that you are. Okay. So our conversation today is about Hmm. Something that I've experienced myself. I know other coaches, financial coaches, women. It is so common to mm, buy things as a way of coping with life. There's different behaviors too. It doesn't have to just be shopping. I've been really open about my past drinking, and that's how I coped with life. And there's many things that we do to cope. But today's conversation is about buying things to cope or spending money as a form of coping. Um, a lot of us are seeking relief these days. A lot of us. I mean, come on. It's crazy. What did Kamala Harris say the other day about them people? It's all over social media. I won't say it here, but maybe I will. She said those motherfuckers are crazy. That's exactly what she said. So I'm going to say it too. And because of this that we're experiencing, oh, talk about being activated, triggered. Um, and unsettled and worried and scared. And so of course, we want to cope. And of course, we are trying to find ways to get through it. And spending money may be a way that you may be experiencing this. And if you're with me right now and you're nodding your head, well, you're in the right space. Um, so what is going on though with the spending and cope and trying to cope, right? So there's a sense of just trying to get that relief, right? So some of the things that I've heard, I'll give an example from myself. One, when I was a lot younger, looking back now, I know that I was spending money as a way to relieve FOMO. I had a fear of missing out in my early 20s because I was raised in such a strict religious environment. And I wasn't allowed to have a lot of fun. I mean, at least not with people that weren't in the religion. So I missed out on a lot. I missed out on the holidays. I missed out celebrating birthdays. I missed out on school activities. I missed out on sports. I missed out on so much. So when I was no longer a part of that religion and I was in my early 20s, I was like going for it. I did not want to miss out on anything. And so a way that I expressed that as well was spending money so that I could fit in. So I literally I think about this, I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Every Friday, I was at the mall buying head to toe something new. I'd made sure my hair was done. I would go remember when you go to the MAC counter and get your makeup done? I'd go to the MAC counter, make sure my makeup was done, buy some product because you had to buy some product in order to get your makeup done. I would go shopping. I would buy a brand new outfit from my undergarments to the jackets to the tops to the shoe. Whew, that was expensive. No wonder I was broke. But my point is, that was me trying to cope with the fact that I felt mm, so much of an outsider. And what that brought up was a lot of insecurities for me. So that is one example of me buying things to cope and to fit in, a fear of missing out. When really, if I was who I am today and fully loving and accepting myself and walking through life with a grounded sense of knowing who I am, I wouldn't have desired, I wouldn't have needed to feel like I had to buy those things in order to get what I was trying to experience. So, a lot of different women come to me for coaching for various different reasons about their spending, right? As a way of just getting through a tough day, work. I mean, if you're working somewhere and you are not valued, you're silenced, you're not respected, you're experiencing any sort of discrimination, that takes a toll. And different women that I've coached over time will be like, because there was not, they're dealing with that all week. And then as a form of coping with that, as a way to validate themselves, as a way to be like, you know, I didn't deserve that, but I deserve this, right? And then end up shopping and spending money on things to fill that sense of being undervalued, the unworthiness. And it's interesting because I recently had a conversation with a dear friend of mine, and she said that something she's like an amazing mentor who I look up to, and I'm always like, wow, when I hear of someone who I look up to because they have given me so much love and guidance. And when I hear them talk about something they're working on, I'm like, oh, you're a human being. Of course you are. But something she said was that she's working on when she decides to treat herself, she's now at a season in her life where it's like, is it really a treat if I'm feeling not really good about it later on? Is it really a treat when this thing is actually harming me? And I think she was talking more along the lines of like food, but this isn't the same realm here, right? So for her, she has some health things that she's working on, a way she wants to feel in her body and health wise. And there's certain foods that she eats that she knows, it's a treat for a lot of people, but for someone whose body responds to it in a negative way, is it truly a treat for herself because she is, in a way, not taking care of herself? So I invite you to hear those words there. And if you're that person who is like, I'm going to treat myself to this because I deserve it. But then later on, there's feelings of just like, or not even feelings, of thoughts. I shouldn't have bought that. I shouldn't have done that. Maybe it's at a time that it's right when you're at the cash register, or maybe it's later on when you're getting ready to go through your, weekly spending, what money that's coming in, what's going out, going over your expenses, or maybe it's just, I've had clients who like look around themselves and they're like, oh my gosh, I have all this stuff that I just don't need. And I keep filling up my home with it. And there's a heaviness and guilt and stress for them as they're looking around their home and seeing these things. So the question is, if that's you, do you really deserve that? Right? Do you deserve that? I basically just want to say that nobody deserves to feel, you know, lousy. Nobody deserves to feel ashamed for the choices they made, the consequences of that, right? You don't deserve to feel those negative emotions. You don't deserve that. So if you don't deserve that, you see what I'm saying? Like if the thought is, well, I deserve this, but then do you really, if it's at the end on the other side of it, if it's feeling some kind of way that is not helpful, that is bogging you down, weighing you down, that is causing more stress in your life, do you really deserve that? I would say, no, you don't. You deserve to experience everything just with a sense of satisfaction. feeling content. I love those words. Peace is a great word, but you know what? Especially these days, it is really hard to have some peace. I mean, I am working really hard every day to have peace. And I tell you, it is like the test of the times to experience some peace in my day. So let's use other words if that feels really big and almost impossible. Content. What ways can you bring feeling of more content in your life? There's contentness. I don't even know how do you say it that way. Anyway, let's not go down that path. So yeah, so I guess I would really invite you to start observing and noticing when you're doing the spending later on, or if it's then or before, after, if you're doing it as a way of coping, of wanting to help things feel better. And so you're doing that. And the result is that's not the case. And what is it? Like, be able to name what it is that you're experiencing. So, and not just mm, what's the word? Like just one word, like I feel bad, okay, or I feel stress. Okay, that's okay. But those are words that we use all the time. So, a great tool to use is a feelings wheel. I encourage you to use a feelings wheel. It made such a huge difference in my life. So if you get like a feelings wheel, you can go on Google, do a search, print it up, put it somewhere, put it in your journal, post it where you can see it, um, and just look at the different ways that you can experience anger or sadness. There's all kinds of different words in there that will help you be able to identify it, because when we can bring the language to what we're feeling and really name it, well, then we have the ability to be like, okay, so let's say, for example, I'm feeling discontent, right? And really at the core of feeling discontent is anger. I'm giving that example. I don't know if that's on the feelings wheel, but I'm giving that example. Something that really helped me, because when you're feeling these emotions and they're really hard, to go from that to feeling peace is like I was saying, it's really difficult. So there's like layers of emotions that we can have. So if you're feeling discontent, maybe look over on the feelings wheel under the feeling peace and what it shows on their different emotions to experience peace. And one of them might be connection, or it might be satisfaction, right? So when you see that, be like, okay, what something I would do is I would look at the other words. I really want to feel peace, but what other words are around there? If it's satisfaction, okay, how can I have a sense of satisfaction right now? Like what do I need in this moment to have a sense of satisfaction? And it could be anything. It's about bringing in that feeling, bringing in that emotion, bringing that satisfaction in, even if it's in the smallest way, because we're then tuning into that frequency of that peace through satisfaction. So if in the moment, maybe a sense of satisfaction is picking up the clutter in my office, that will have me feeling a sense of satisfaction. So I can get up and do that, and just acknowledge, okay, I'm feeling a sense of satisfaction right now. It does wonders. I also invite you to consider putting these reminders somewhere, because this is building that muscle. And something that I did at that time when I really when I was really working on trying to name my emotions, acknowledge them. Um, I put post-its. So I had one on my, I think I had one on my dryer door. So every time I went to go dry my clothes, I would see it, and it would literally be like, stop, check in, and I'd have to check in. What am I feeling right now? I literally get my feelings wheel, look at it, and then I would choose again. Okay. So if I was feeling angry, it would literally make me stop. So I was really starting to connect with myself. I had one at my next to my nightstand, and then I think I had one in my bathroom mirror. I had three areas that I knew I would see every day, and it was amazing that what I was able to accomplish in a short period of time. So this is something that worked for me. This may or may not work for you, but it's an invitation to consider a way to build up that muscle, so that you can start to identify the emotions that you're experiencing throughout the day. And then that will also serve you when it comes to noticing and paying attention to when you're buying things to cope, like what is the emotion behind it. So then you can go ahead and really start making those changes in your life. And this is how you heal for real. It takes practice. It takes a consistent practice. And it's not about doing everything so perfect and to a T. It's just showing up. Because every time you show up, every time you put in the practice, you're creating something new, a new experience. And over time, you start to gravitate towards that more and more. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Um, this is something that I said, I completely relate to. I know that a lot of you out there are struggling. Um, there's just so much hate towards us. And it would make absolute sense if you're finding yourself doing things in a way to cope that in hindsight is not really something that is serving you. And it's actually maybe harming you in some way. And it's okay. It's okay. Like that something else I heard recently was like, you're not wrong for making the decisions you make, right? Because the decisions that you make in that moment is a decision that you make that, you know, later on you can look back and be like, oh, maybe I could have done things differently because you learned. But every time we make a decision, we're doing the best that we can in that moment with the support systems we have in place, with what we're experiencing, with what's going on. We're making the best decision in that moment. So please do give yourself some grace. Be very kind to yourself. And join me this Friday, 12 o'clock Pacific, October 10th, for Prosperity Exchange. Going to be facilitating a conversation. It's going to be every week. I'll have different topics, similar to stuff that I'm bringing to these LinkedIn Lives, but it's going to be more one on one conversations in a safe and brave space for women like you and like me. Because when we come together and when we start working on these things, managing our money in ways that feel good, that bring us joy, we are going to be a force even more to be reckoned with. So until next time, I'll see you soon and have a beautiful and blessed